Hey everyone, welcome to Learning to Hunt. Today I wanted to revisit something that we talked about in episode 19 of the Learning to Hunt podcast. That episode was entitled Trail Cameras. And what we talked about was how we can utilize video to get a lot more information out of our trail cameras than just using still photos. Now, most trail cameras, like this one here, have a time reset in them. So they will take a picture and then we'll reset the motion sensor on it. And once that motion sensor resets, it'll take another picture. Now the key part is that we can change the time in between that reset. Most cameras are going to be either 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds, or 15 seconds. Today we're going to use 15 seconds as an example. So we're going to look at what triggered the camera, in this case a deer butt, and then what we would see with a picture at every 15 seconds. Here it's nothing. Then we'll go back, we'll see what the video would capture. Now in the summer, videos aren't going to tell you much. By the time hunting season rolls around, deer are doing different things, eating different food, living in different spots. So usually in the summer, I'm still using still photos. Once we get into mid-October, the details of how deer are behaving make a big difference to hunting strategy. Here we have a doe that triggered the camera. At 15 seconds, we only see that the doe is no longer there. So the only picture we would have is the first one. When we see the video, a lot more is going on. A big buck is chasing two does around. To see this on October 24th is an enormous piece of information. Now we need to switch from hunting scrapes to hunting where the does are if we're looking for those big bucks. On the next clip, the camera is set off by a doe and a button buck. At 15 seconds, they have been joined by another doe. So if that's all we got, we may be under the impression that the bucks weren't chasing does yet. But what we missed was in fact intense chasing. Next, we have a very similar video where a doe trips the camera with a doe in the background. At 15 seconds, we see the back leg of the first doe with the second doe behind and now joined by a third doe. So 3 does, right? Actually, there are 6 does and a small buck. So in this case, we would have seen less than half the deer if we only had pictures. Sometimes we don't necessarily get some great piece of info from a video, but can catch something that's just cool to see. Here we have a buck with an odd antler configuration. At 15 seconds, he's on the right near a scrape, and the same thing at 30 seconds. At 45 seconds, he's moving back to the left. What could we be missing? We'll take a look. Now that buck, we actually named him Hopalong for obvious reasons. We'd gotten him multiple years in a row, and despite missing that front leg, he seems to be doing just fine. And actually, this is one of his shed antlers from that year. So that's cool, but the point is, if we're using video instead of still photos during hunting season, we can gain a lot more information. So if your cameras have that ability, utilize it. If you're looking for more cameras or purchasing some, keep that in mind. It's going to make you a better hunter, a more informed hunter, a more successful hunter. Thanks, everybody.